Would you agree? Could you agree? Should you agree? Hi, I'm Nick Shell, and I'm known across the world in 53 different languages as the head honcho of hair loss. And I want to throw a theory at you. Here it is. I, Nick Shell, comparatively speaking, compared to most of you, have handled more rejection in my life than you have. Just by default, just because I'm 37, by default, I've been told no more than you have. I've been turned down, I've been rejected more than you have. I think what a lot of people don't realize, especially men, what they don't realize, especially young men, what they don't realize, is that the more times you're told no, the more opportunities you're given to grow and mature as a person. You know, one of my things about how you always get to decide whether you're going to be offended by someone or insulted, hurt by something someone does or says to you. It's always a choice, right? And that comes from a place of experience. I didn't read that in a book. I figured that out in my own life. I realized most people in the world allow themselves to be offended over stuff. And I don't. I want more control over my own life, and I'm not going to let other people do that. They can say whatever they want to say. But as far as me becoming emotional about it, as far as my blood pressure rising over it, it's not going to happen. So, but I do say though, it's because I've been rejected so many times in life, and it's easy to say, well, Nick, that's not true. There's no way people have rejected you. Oh yeah, absolutely. I think maturity often is born out of rejection. You find ways to overcome things based on in the ways that you're not successful. There's so many things I'm not good at, and I learned to compensate for them in other ways. And that's how the world actually works. So you're like, okay, well, I can't get a yes on this and this and this, but I can get a definite yes on these 5 things as compared to these 3 things I couldn't do. So I'm very good at handling rejection. And it's like, even for me, my son is in 2nd grade. As a father, this is like the theme of 2nd grade right now. I'm helping him to deal with rejection. So when I have to tell him no, it's a matter of, we can't have this foot stomping stuff. Like I'm breaking him of that, you know. And I think, because if I don't break that habit now, what happens when he's 20, when he's an adult, and he's still getting upset when he doesn't get his way? And I think this all goes back to hair loss, because I think a lot of men in their early 20s per se haven't handled enough rejection in their life, and then all of a sudden they're losing their hair. And so it's almost like the more rejection you've experienced in your life, the easier it is for you to handle something like hair loss. So, closing thought, I want you to really fathom this. Okay? I know that a lot of you were cool. I like you, you like me, we got a good thing going. A lot of you. But also, just as many are very vocal about how much they don't like me. Of course, the hair loss haters, and let's really stereotype these guys. I want everyone to know them in the comment sections. Hair loss haters, they will comment on multiple videos very passionately. Number 2, they will promote finasteride, Rogaine, whatever kind of drug it is. They think that's what's going to save them. Number 3, they assume I do videos out of obsession, not because of side hustle, money, income. They have a very toxic tone and outlook on life because of their hair, like believing they can't ever get married or have a job or run for president if they're bald. And then lastly, they eventually just get bored and disappear after a while. So those are the stereotypes. But when we look at those guys, those are guys who can't handle rejection the way the rest of us can. I can be told no. In fact, I expect people to say no. That's what I expect. So that when they say yes, I can be that much more grateful. But if they say no, then I don't have to take it personally, because for me, what I do for a living, I'm often having to tell people no myself. And I don't enjoy doing that. No one does. But there's a certain maturity that you earn. If there was some kind of video game, like, you know, a real life video game that you play, and the more times you're told no, like, you'd have this little bar that would increase of like maturity and confidence, because rejection if you handle it the right way and you accept it, but you don't take it personally as an insult or attack, can actually be a pretty good thing to make you stronger. But it still goes back to you believing that it's a choice whether or not you're offended or hurt by other people. And it's still a reckoning of realizing that how you feel becomes a fact. And Nick Shell I can never convince you against what you believe in your mind about hair loss. And I don't want to. It would be a waste of my time. I let you be the judge. If all I'm doing is wasting people's time and throwing glitter at you, then you shouldn't be watching my channel. But I think what we have to do is take responsibility. We have to take responsibility for our rejections in life and either turn that into something positive or be held back by it for the rest of our life. It is a choice.